tears in Pyongyang, and blood on Ukrainian soil. Kim Jong-un hails his fallen as heroes. Washington stalls intelligence sharing on Russia-Ukraine peace talks, Trump sets looming deadlines, and Europe demands US fighter jets in Romania. This is a war fought across continents by multiple powers. And the question now, who will pay the ultimate price? Kim Jong-un is hailing his soldiers as heroes. At a ceremony in Pyongyang, the North Korean leader praised troops who fought alongside Russia in Ukraine, claiming they showed the fighting spirit of heroes while helping retake Russia's Kursk region from Ukrainian forces.
The combat activities of overseas operational forces proved without regret the power of the heroic North Korean army. My heart aches and is bitter as I face the reality that I only get to meet the noble figures who gave up their precious lives for great victory and glory through photos on the memorial wall. As I stand in front of the bereaved families of the fallen soldiers, I don't know how to express my regret and apologies for not being able to protect our precious sons.
KCNA wrote that Kim laid a flower at a memorial for North Korean soldiers who had died overseas, while soldiers who had returned from Russia were honored with a concert. Relatives of troops killed in action had been among those attending a banquet. Kim praised them as a heroic army, with state media photos showing Kim pinning commendation badges on soldiers' uniforms. Photos released by KCNA also showed Kim pinning badges on the photo frames of deceased soldiers, which lined the wall with each soldier's name written in gold beneath their image. The ceremony was also tearful, according to the images released by North Korea, with Kim meeting with bereaved family members who were seen sobbing and paying tribute to soldiers' photos on the wall. In several images, Kim is seen embracing crying children and soldiers. The events were the latest public show of gratitude by the regime in Pyongyang, in stark contrast to the secrecy that surrounded North Korea's role in the war when its troops were first sent to Russia last autumn. Kim said the troops had been assigned to carry out the most important duty and voiced warm militant encouragement to the commanders and troops. The ceremony comes days after the Russian President Vladimir Putin used similar language to pay tribute to North Korean troops sent to fight alongside Russian forces. In a letter to Kim to mark the anniversary of Korea's liberation from Japanese colonial rule in August 1945, Putin described North Korean troops as heroic and recalled how Soviet units and North Korean forces had also fought together to end Japan's occupation of the Korean peninsula. Meanwhile, CBS News reported that the Trump administration's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, ordered on July 20th that the US intelligence community halt the sharing of information on ongoing Russia-Ukraine peace talks with so-called Five Eyes countries. US intelligence sources told CBS News that Gabbard signed a directive barring the sharing of information with the Five Eyes alliance, which includes the US, Canada, the UK, Australia and New Zealand. CBS News reported that the directive limited the distribution of intelligence to information that had already been publicly released and compartmentalized intelligence on peace talks within agencies where the intelligence originated from. The directive also does not prohibit the sharing of information obtained through diplomatic means, nor does it affect information sharing on US military planning, including aid to Ukraine. No rationale was provided for the decision, as peace talks between Russia and Ukraine brokered by the United States continue. Besides, in an interview on the Todd Starnes show on August 21st, Trump said that his administration will know within 2 weeks whether there will be peace in Ukraine, warning that if not, he will take a different tact. These comments are the latest in a series of deadlines Trump has set for Ukraine's war, none of which have been followed by action when they came and went. We will know within 2 weeks whether there will be peace in Ukraine. After that, we will have to maybe take a different tact. Also, Trump wrote on August 21st on Truth Social that Ukraine cannot win the war without striking inside Russia, accusing former US President Joe Biden of only allowing Ukraine to defend, not fight back. Trump claimed the war would not have happened if he had been in office, and interesting times lie ahead. Amid the peace talks, US Senator Lindsey Graham demanded that Russia return thousands of Ukrainian children abducted during the war, warning he will push legislation to designate Russia a state sponsor of terrorism if Moscow refuses. According to The Times, European countries want Trump to deploy American fighter jets to Romania as part of the US security guarantees to end the war in Ukraine. Senior European military chiefs are discussing the deployment of American F-35s to Romania, where NATO is building its largest airbase in Europe to deter Russia from re-invading. On August 18th, Trump ruled out the deployment of American boots on the ground in Ukraine, but said he was willing to provide air support as part of US security guarantees. After that meeting, which was attended by Ukrainian President Zelensky and European leaders, military chiefs gathered in Washington to discuss the logistics of American support. General Dan Kane, the US chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, hosted the top generals from the UK, Germany, France, Finland, and Italy to discuss American security guarantees. US Vice President J.D. Vance said on August 20th that Europe must pay the lion's share of costs for Ukraine's security guarantees. NATO currently runs air policing missions over the Black Sea from the Mihail Kogălniceanu Air Base in Romania, which was a hub for American forces during the Iraq War and is the likeliest location for American jets. In addition to US fighter jets based in Romania, European countries want guarantees over the continued use of American satellites for GPS and reconnaissance in Ukraine. They want a US commitment to supply Ukraine with Patriot and NASAMS air defense missiles to shoot down Russian attacks, as well as permission to fly spy planes over the Black Sea. As part of the so-called coalition of the willing, Britain has offered to deploy Typhoon fighter jets to western Ukraine and a brigade of 3,000 to 5,000 troops to train the Ukrainian army. France, Canada, and Australia could also send troops to western Ukraine. However, Russia has objected to the deployment of any foreign troops.